You spend $120 on a dress shirt, you take it home, you hold it up, and the fabric feels decent in the store under the fluorescent lights.
You wear it to work, you get a compliment, you feel good, and then you wash it 3 times. The collar starts to ripple, not dramatically, just a little, enough that you notice it when you button the top button. The fabric has gone slightly limp, thinner feeling than it was, less body, less presence, and the cuffs have softened in a way that is not the same as broken in.
You did not buy a bad shirt. You bought a shirt that was engineered to feel premium at the point of sale and perform at average for the rest of its life.
That is not an accident, that is a business model, and today we are going through 11 shirt brands.
6 that charge premium prices for average construction, and 5 that actually justify what they ask.
We are looking at fabric, collar construction, button quality, stitching, finishing, how the shirt ages, and what you are actually paying for when you hand over your money. Not reputation, not logo, not the lighting in the store, but what is in the shirt. By the end of this, you will know exactly what separates a shirt that looks expensive from a shirt that is expensive, and you will never buy a collar-rippling $100 disappointment again.
Let us start with what makes a shirt actually premium before we name names, because this matters when you are evaluating a dress shirt.
First, fabric weight and hand feel, because a high-quality cotton shirt has substance. Not stiffness, but substance. And when you drape it over your hand, it has body and falls cleanly. 2-ply cotton, properly woven, feels different from single-ply immediately, and the thread count determines how the fabric drapes.
Supima cotton has longer fibers and holds its shape better than standard cotton over time, and Sea Island cotton is the top tier. Most shirts you are buying at mall brands are neither of those things.
Second, collar construction, because a properly made collar has an interlining that gives it structure without making it feel stiff. A fused collar has that interlining glued in, a felt collar has it sewn in, and the difference matters because glue breaks down with heat and washing. A good shirt collar stays flat and symmetrical after 40 washes, while a bad one starts to wave, bubble, or curl within 10. Third, buttons, because shell buttons made from actual mollusk shell have a depth and luster that plastic cannot replicate. Fourth, stitch count, because a shirt with 18 to 22 stitches per inch is sewn to last. The seams sit flush and the shirt holds its geometry. Lower stitch counts mean looser construction, and loose construction means the shirt shifts, puckers, and deforms over time.
Fifth, how the collar points lie flat on the body without clips, stays, or tricks, and that is what a premium shirt actually is.
Brand number 1, Banana Republic, which sells you a very specific dream with clean urban professional aesthetics and shirts priced between $7 and $130. The marketing says elevated basics and quality materials, and here is what you are actually paying for. Banana Republic is owned by Gap Inc., and its shirts are produced in the same global manufacturing networks as most mid-market retail brands. The fabrics are predominantly standard cotton blends, often single-ply in the 80 to 100 thread count range. When you spend $100 at Banana Republic, a significant portion goes to rent, visual merchandising, the Gap corporate structure, and
The shirts are not bad. They are made to a price point that creates acceptable quality for a retail margin that works at scale, but you are paying for the bracket and not the shirt.
The shirt itself would justify maybe $50 in a more transparent market.
Brand number 2, Brooks Brothers. And this one is harder because Brooks Brothers deserves respect for what it was.
The brand is genuinely old. It dressed American presidents, it pioneered the button-down collar, and for decades, buying a Brooks Brothers shirt.
Then the company went bankrupt in 2020 and was acquired by Authentic Brands Group, the same holding company that owns Forever 21 and Aeropostale.
The older Brooks Brothers shirts made before significant outsourcing began still hold up, but the new product varies, and variation is the enemy of a premium brand. When you walk into a Brooks Brothers today and spend $140 on a dress shirt, you are buying partly into history and partly into a brand management situation.
The reputation has not changed, the price has not changed that much, but the product has changed.
Paying for Brooks Brothers in 2025 because of what Brooks Brothers meant in 1985 is like paying for a restaurant because your grandfather loved it before it sold.
Brand number 3, Bonobos, which built its entire brand identity around fit and solved a real problem for men built differently from the narrow, tall frame that most menswear defaults to.
But fit is not construction, and Bonobos has consistently charged construction prices for fit engineering.
A Bonobos dress shirt runs between $85 and $130. The fabrics are predominantly standard weaves, the collar construction is fused.
What you are paying for is the size grid, the fit technology, the DTC model, and the post-acquisition Walmart infrastructures. The wrinkle-resistant finish is worth noting separately. It is a resin treatment applied to the fabric that works, but it also makes the shirt feel... After many washes, wrinkle-resistant fabrics can deteriorate unevenly. It is a trade-off, and Bonobos sells it as a feature without explaining the trade-off clearly.
You are buying convenience, and that is fine, but you need to know that is the transaction.
Brand number 4, Ralph Lauren, specifically Polo Ralph Lauren shirts, which is a masterclass in lifestyle marketing and one of the most durable brand narratives in American fashion. You are not buying a shirt, you are buying access to the visual, the feeling that you belong to a certain kind of America that is sporty, moneyed, and effortlessly relaxed.
A Polo Ralph Lauren dress shirt runs between $85 and $160, and the base Polo line uses standard cotton fabrics with fused collars and average construction. The Purple Label and higher lines are genuinely different products with better construction and better fabrics, but Purple Label shirts cost $300 to $500, and that is not what most people are buying.
The $120 Polo dress shirt is paying for the emblem, the brand's marketing budget, the retail footprint, and the idea that you are buying into something.
Family. The actual construction at the price point most people access is standard American mid-market. Competent fabrics. Wear the shirt, it looks fine, wash it 20 times, and notice where the collar goes, because the logo is doing the heavy lifting that the construction is not. Brand number 5, Untuck It, which found a real gap in the market, with shirts designed to be worn untucked and a hem length calibrated so they do not look sloppy.
But then Untuck It started expanding into performance shirts, dress shirts, and linen shirts, and at that point, the brand started charging.
The performance shirt is the biggest issue, because when you are wearing one from Untuck It, you feel it. Not in a catastrophic way, just in a way that tells your skin that
it is cooler feeling than it should be, slightly clinical, and a little slippery. And the problem is when a brand charges $100 to $130 for a shirt that is predominantly polyester, at that price you expect to be wearing mostly cotton, and performance fabrics have a place, but that place is not in a shirt you are paying $120 for.
Brand number 6, any DTC brand with a clean Instagram and a vague story about craftsmanship, and you know this brand because it does not have one name, it has 50 names.
It launched on Instagram between 2015 and 2022. Its website is white with clean sans serif typography. The copy mentions craftsmanship, sustainable sourcing, and that the shirts are made in Portugal, Italy, Peru, or a specific region known for textile excellence.
DTC brands do sometimes cut distribution costs, but they reinvest those margins into customer acquisition, which means Facebook ads.
The actual manufacturing is often performed at the same factories used by other mid-market brands, and whether the collar is sewn or fused.
If you cannot find the fabric composition, the collar construction type, and the country of manufacture in the first 2 clicks on the brand's website, now we turn the lens, because indignation does not help you get dressed, and what helps you get dressed is knowing where the good shirts actually are. Brand 1, Eaton, a Swedish shirt brand that most American men walk past without stopping, and that is a consistent mistake.
Founded in 1928, Eaton has been making dress shirts as its entire singular focus for nearly a century. An Eaton dress shirt runs between $160 and $260, and Eaton uses 2-ply cotton fabrics from a...
These fabrics have weight, body, and a hand feel that you notice immediately, and the collar construction on Eaton shirts uses a sewn inner lining and not a fused one.
After 40 washes, the collar stays flat, the buttons are mother of pearl on the core line, and the stitching is at the high end of what ready-to-wear offers.
When you put an Eaton shirt on, it falls differently than a department store shirt. The shoulders set correctly, the collar lies flat without effort.
Eaton's construction means the shirts improve slightly with washing, softening without losing structure, which is the opposite of what you experience with lower quality construction. This is a shirt built the way shirts were built when the goal was a shirt that lasted a decade, and it happens to still exist.
Brand 2, Charles Tyrwhitt, the best value story in men's dress shirts and routinely underestimated by American buyers who see a British brand.
At that price, you are getting a shirt constructed at a level most $100 American brands do not reach, because the fabrics are primarily woven by reputable European mills.
Non-iron shirts use a higher quality no-iron finish than most competitors. It is applied more carefully and degrades more slowly, and the collars use proper inner linings. Charles Tyrwhitt has been making shirts since 1986 and has maintained a focus on construction detail that most mid-market brands have eroded.
It is not Eton. The fabrics, while good, are not coming from the same heritage mills, but for $60 on a good sale, there is no brand in the world giving you more shirt per dollar.
If you are outfitting a work wardrobe and your budget is real, Charles Tyrewhit is not a compromise. It is a strategy. Brand 3 Gitman Vintage, a brand that started making shirts in 1978 in Ashland, Pennsylvania, and has kept making shirts in the United States. A Gitman Vintage Oxford cloth button-down runs about $160. It is made in the United States, and the Oxford cloth is heavier than most.
The construction is traditional American workmanship, box pleat in the back, locker loop, and a proper collar roll that develops naturally.
A well-made Oxford collar washed repeatedly without stays develops a gentle, natural roll that frames the face. Gitman Vintage does not market aggressively and does not have an Instagram aesthetic optimized for virality, but it has a factory that has been operating the same way for over 40 years. This is what it looks like when the price is in the shirt and not the story. Brand 4, Spire & McKay, a Canadian brand that is almost certainly the most underappreciated dress shirt option for men who need to dress professionally on a reasonable budget. A Spire & McKay dress shirt runs between $60 and $90. And for that price, you get 2-ply cotton fabrics from Mills. The brand makes no secret of its supply chain. The fabrics are named, the construction details are disclosed, and the collar interlinings are sewn. Spire & McKay occupies the position that Brooks Brothers used to a cup, a brand that delivers actual construction quality at a price that regular professional men can access.
The difference is that Spire & McKay has not spent 50 years accumulating brand equity and slowly degrading the product to extract it, because the product is the point.
If you compare a Spire & McKay dress shirt against a Polo Ralph Lauren dress shirt at the same price point, one of those shirts is spending your money on the polo pony, and one of them is spending it on the shirt. Brand 5, Kamakura Shirts, a Japanese shirt maker founded in 1993 in Kamakura, Japan, with one store in New York and a small American retail footprint.
It has never run an aggressive American advertising campaign, it does not sponsor athletes or pay influencers, and it does not have a marketing team working overtime. Kamakura imports fabrics from the finest Japanese and European mills. Japan's textile industry, particularly in Osaka.
The shirts are cut slim and elegant, with a Japanese sense of proportion that is slightly different from American and British fits. Cleaner edges. The collar construction on Kamakura shirts is exceptional, is intentional, the roll is intentional, and the points are precise. The buttons are shell, the stitching is tight, and the finishing details reflect a company for whom the shirt is the entire product. A Kamakura dress shirt runs between $85 and $140, and at that price you are getting a shirt genuinely competing with off. This is the discovery at the end of the investigation. A brand without hype, without a polo pony, without a heritage marketing campaign. That's when the shirt is this good, it does not need a story, it is the story. Here is what you now know that you did not know at the start. The $120 shirt at the mall is not paying for 2-ply cotton from an Italian mill.
It is paying for the lease on the storefront, the tissue paper in the bag, the visual system that makes a standard garment feel premium before you have touched it.
The shirt does not know what brand it is, the shirt only knows what it is made of, and a fused collar bubbles regardless of the logo above it. A plastic button cracks regardless of the store's ambient lighting, and a single-ply cotton shirt goes limp after 30 dashes. Quality in a dress shirt is a physical reality, not a perception. It's in the length of the cotton fibers, whether the inner lining is sewn or glued, and whether the buttons crack or hold.
The brands that justify their premium, Eton, Charles Tyrwhit, Gitman Vintage, Spire & McKay, and Kamakura, justify it with physical decisions made during manufacturing.
Decisions about which fabric to order, whether to sew or fuse, whether to source shell or plastic, and whether to use 8 stitches per inch or 12.
Those decisions do not show up in the marketing, they show up in your hands and on your body, and in the way the shirt still looks after you have owned it for 3 years. The rule from here on is simple. Before you buy a dress shirt, find out what the fabric is and where it was woven, whether the collar is sewn or fused, and what the buttons are made of. If the brand cannot tell you or will not, you know where the premium is. It is in the story they are telling you, and not the shirt they are selling you.
A premium shirt does not look expensive on a hanger, it feels expensive on your body, still looks good after 50 washes, and ages into something better than what you bought.
That is the actual standard. And if this changes the way you read a shirt label, follow along, because we do the investigation so you do not have to make expensive mistakes first.